University Tower chimes, ringing another session of Ask the Professor, the show on which you match wits with University of Detroit Mercy professors in an unrehearsed session of questions and answers. I'm your host, Matt Mio, and let me introduce to you our panel for today. It's been a long time since we've seen Professor Mara Livezey in this studio.
Great to be here.
We are so happy she is back.
And we're happy that she's back.
I'm thankful we kept the receipt, so. No instructions, no warranties implied either, so.
That's right. That's right. So how did it end up with your remote lab here this afternoon? Like you basically hit all the notes and it was like...
You know, I could have done more, but I made a decision that I had done enough, and I deserve to be here with you all today.
That is so cool. Very, very cool.
This is like your decision to stop doing ballet, which, by the way, I think is like the coolest feminist thing I've ever heard in my life. Like,
Probably the
I
best
wanted
choice
to
of my
eat
life.
and not feel bad about it. I'm like, you go, girl.
Awesome. Awesome. Someone who once stored a cot in the room and stayed here for a whole week is Professor Dave Chow.
Pleasure to be here, for now.
That's a joke.
I'm leaving here to go to CCS to live on my other cot. So.
That's
I
right.
literally was going to ask you, did he really do that?
I mean, it sounds like something Dave would do. You're not doing that tonight, are you?
No, not tonight, but I will be there setting up, I'll set up some tables. I'm going to lose my mind come tomorrow.
But you're not going to set up all the luminaries?
No, because what happens is if I set them up now, there's going to be some little kid who's going to be kicking them over.
Well, and the wind is kind of bad.
Yeah.
I don't worry about the wind. No, that's.
You don't want flattened bags.
No, I don't mind the flat ones. I just don't want the flaming ones.
That's
Yes.
what I mean.
Flaming bags, yes.
Of course, that is kind of fun. It reminds me of Beth. You'll appreciate this. It's like Die Hard. I can land a plane on the campus if I need to.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's lit up bright as could be.
Demonstrating to us his illuminariology, it's Professor Jim Tubbs.
Hello, hello.
I want to say that that's a real college major. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it could be. It could be.
It's a good paper.
At Terrorist University.
It's at least a good paper. Oh, yeah, very nice. Very nice.
So maybe at some madrasas, that's a thing you could major in.
Can you imagine the dissertation? And here's how I make a Molotov cocktail. Oh.
Yeah. There was an instance a few years back. It's many years back now, possibly 10-ish, where Jane Schley in our department was eating this little Greek yogurt jar, basically about the size of a pint, every other day, so 2 or 3 times a week. And then she was asking me to take the glass things home so I could recycle them. And I saved every single one of them and then went and bought a block of 500 tea lights. And then we did them as luminaries down the entire,
Cool.
Ooh, nice.
It made for a really great picture, but I didn't tell her I was going to do it. And then I sent her the picture on Christmas Eve. She's like, "What did you do?" I saved all your glass jars. I was like, "Why did you do that?"
Luminaire look wonderful. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Well, you did recycle them. You repurposed them.
Yeah, you repurpose them.
No, okay, man.
And that's a good purpose.
Who cleaned them up afterwards, though?
Well, I was thinking, how long ago was it? Because it was my middle son, Lorenzo, who's about to turn 15. So it has to be in that. And I think that he was young enough that he's like, "Oh, I want to be helpful." So probably about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Do you remember that, Erin?
Like,
Do you remember
that stage lasts for 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, seriously. Professor Dan Maggio is here. Good to see you, Dan.
Hi, Matt.
What's going on?
Survived another week.
Another
Yay.
week
So-
in the books.
1 week closer to retirement.
Oh, my
The
word.
7 years and
Look,
6 weeks
That's
left.
also how I count my week.
Yeah, my
And
best
by
friend.
the way, I didn't even notice that it was notable that you were sitting here. I just walked in and oh, all right, sir.
This is normal.
that's how
I didn't
normal it
realize
is.
that you've
Are
only
you
been
taking
here
Mara for
once
granted like she's a
before.
fixture?
She is a fixture.
You know
So
what,
it's
Mara?
good to see you.
Sometimes, even with retirement, it doesn't stop.
Oh no.
Also true.
Oh no.
Also true.
Jim is still trying desperately to get free of the clutches of the university.
That's just because we can't pry off the ankle tether. That's why.
That's right.
We're
But
trying.
that's self-inflicted.
Haven't found the key.
That is, yeah.
Key.
Now,
The
Dan.
solids keep on wearing out.
Dan, you are not allowed to come to this panel some point in the future and bring the newspaper and do the old shtick about just looking in the obituaries for my own name, like that sort of thing.
No.
Don't do that.
No, don't say that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. That's
Yes,
the
good.
idea. Don't do that. You're allowed to look forward to retirement, but
I am.
not your next passing.
My dad in his latter years used to come downstairs to the breakfast table, open up the paper and look at the obituaries first, and if he wasn't in there, he would just go on with his
Yeah,
day.
exactly.
So I want also one other thing to note. So in the Facebook group,
Yes,
there
yes.
was a question and some responses, and it went over to Smith Media Center, and then I don't know if you remember Scott Anderson.
Of course.
Of course. So I went to school with him back in the day, and then he was in the math department too. But he had commented, he goes, "Oh yeah, Smith Media." He goes, I think he was a guest panelist on the show for a couple
Okay,
of times
okay.
over the years. I don't remember him, but Scott, if you're listening, hi. Hope things are great in Savannah. But to know that he was on the show, if he's ever back in town, we'll have to have him on as a guest.
He is a good guy.
Again,
He's
he is
good
a great guy.
Yeah.
Being in Savannah is already great in Savannah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Continuing around the table, Professor Erin Bell is here with us today. What's going on, Erin?
I guess I'm counting down the days until the vacation.
Yeah,
So, hoping I can bring back some trivia. I think I told you I'm going to Dauphine Island because it's a good bird watching spot. I don't know anything else about it. And I recently decided to go on the Cuba trip. I
Okay.
think that's a really awesome opportunity.
Sweet.
And I'm looking forward to that. Got a lot of fraud charges this morning for trying to pay for that trip. And that's kind of a bummer. I'm like, no, it's really me.
No,
I swear, you know.
Going to
That's
Cuba.
it's me.
Going
Yeah,
to Cuba.
I'm excited about
My
that though.
cousins love that place. They say it's wonderful. So
Just having some lunch and learning about Cuba. I mean, what's better than that? You know, I mean, seriously.
Learning about Cuba, having some food.
Those are the dulcet tones of Professor Beth Oljar. We're going to make each other laugh really, really hard.
Beth, have you
There's
been
nothing wrong
grading
with that.
term papers nonstop?
No, I don't get them until December 9th, but that, of course, was from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which
Yes.
was my high school movies.
There you go.
Amazing.
I'm here with my new green nerd glasses.
They're very cool. You're
They're
coordinated.
They look great
Yeah.
with the top you're wearing, too.
Yes,
They do. My
And
favorite
and they
color.
match your cookies.
But I'm
And the
bummed
cookies.
out because Christine McVie
I
died.
know.
Yes,
Can't
that was a
believe-
real tragedy.
she wasn't even in my death pool.
Yeah.
Oh, Deadpool.
Don't
Well,
try
for
that.
my generation, I remember when Mary Ann Faithfull died, I thought, oh no, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac was the first band I ever had a poster of because I remember
What?
Stevie
You mean-
and Christine are wearing the same pair of they're wearing identical
Right.
gorgeous knee-high suede boots with platform heels, and I just thought, well, those are cool. When can I get a
You mean
pair?
David Cassidy wasn't your first? I'm shocked.
I didn't have a picture of him.
Your Tiger Beat subscription lapsed, didn't it?
I never subscribed. I actually just bought Tiger
Yeah.
Beat and 16 magazine, and don't make fun of me.
I was there for the bop and the big bopper. too.
Yep. Yep. Well, folks, it's been a while since we got a whole chunk of questions on Tiger Beat. I can tell you that right now. But
That'd be awesome.
if you send us questions regarding anything, we'll tackle them. And if you stump the panel, you win a prize. If you don't stump the panel, you win a prize. You can send us the questions in a number of ways. Email us at atp@udmercy.edu. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, or listen on your favorite smart speaker by asking it to play Ask the Professor at University of Detroit Mercy. You know what? It's Christmas time.
Oh, that thing.
Yes, it is Yuletide, and as a result of that, it's time for us to tackle some questions. And I believe that everybody in the panel mostly will laugh. Maybe not Dan. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be exclusionary, because the first thing on the
Why?
page is
What?
warning: this email originated from outside the university.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's
Oh.
Oh,
I
and
can't
hey,
believe
because they don't
email I
get
get.
internal emails here.
Ah.
Yes. Ho, ho, howdy, profs. The call has gone out once again for Christmas special questions, and since we've had some fun with quotes before, how about some Christmas quotes? Enclosed is a collection of hopefully entertaining quotes related to the Christmas season. Your goal is quite simply to name who's responsible for that quote. Of course, the real goal here is to have a good time.
Wait,
Isn't it always?
So you
Yes.
do know if you sing them, Jim's just going to ace them, and the rest of us will be playing cribbage.
We'll see. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. All the best as always. Nat Pike of Livonia, Michigan.
Aha.
Yes, so let's see what we got here. So these are actually more, lighthearted, spirited comedy lines. They are not lines from songs or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
That's too
yes,
bad.
yes.
Drat.
I bought my brother some gift wrap for Christmas. I took it to the gift wrap department and told them to wrap it, but in a different print, so he would know when to stop. I love that quote. I'm sorry. That's
Is this sounds like it's from Christmas Vacation or something.
It's the modern equivalent of the extremely dry comedy and dry delivery. If when I say it, you'll be like, "Oh, of course that's what it is." But
Like a Daniel Pinkwater.
tall
sort of-
guy, no beard, curly hair, white guy. I'm running
Daniel
out of
Stern? Let's see.
no
Like a Will Ferrell?
initials SW. That's about as far as I'm gonna be able to go.
Steve Wright?
Stephen Wright.
Oh,
Stephen
okay.
Wright. Yeah, I love that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's
get
pretty
it. I
funny.
was thinking it was from a movie.
Yeah, that's why.
Well,
Yeah.
this is giving me
Yeah.
ideas, to buy some wrapping paper and then go have it wrapped in the gift wrap
Different
department.
wrap.
Absolutely.
As one who did gift wrapping at Christmas for a while, one Christmas season when I was 17, that would be really annoying to be handed a roll of gift wrap.
Yes, it
and
would. It's
Gift
an
wrap this.
odd shape to.
No. But it's like meta.
Love
It's
it.
like
I know, that's
Super.
It
the
is.
level.
It's very
How about a Red
postmodern.
Ryder BB gun? That would be another thing.
Yeah, but that came in a box,
It did,
right?
it did.
They managed
Yeah.
to wrap that box.
Yeah, they
so.
did. Yep.
That's it. I'm giving away Jello.
So this next one is going to sound super topical, like someone just wrote it a couple weeks ago, but it's actually a few decades old, and I love it. This one as well.
All right.
Adults can take a simple holiday for children and screw it up. What began as a presentation of simple gifts to delight and surprise children around the Christmas tree has culminated in a woman unwrapping 6 shrimp forks from her dog, the person who drew her name.
6 shrimp forks.
So I feel like there's a gender component there, which makes
Yeah,
me think
it's
of
only
like
It's a
male,
man.
it sounds like. Yeah,
No, it's a woman.
no, like a
like a.
Is someone concerned with observing modern American life
Like
about
Miss
a generation
Manners?
and a half ago? Not
Like
Miss Manners.
Joan
which-
Rivers.
Emily
or-
Post.
Dear Abby.
How about initials
Martha Stewart?
EB?
Who? What was it?
Initials EB.
It was me when I was like 10.
I was gonna say.
Erin Bell. That's
right.
EB.
Is it a comedian?
I mean, it was a humorist. I wouldn't say this.
Irma
person-
Bombeck.
It's Irma
nice.
Oh,
Bombeck.
yes,
right,
Irma
yes.
Bombeck.
Yes, I thought that was funny.
That sounds like Irma Bombeck.
She was a
Yes.
favorite of my mom's.
Not dry humor, but just biting
Just
humor.
like a dry heat humor.
Yeah, exactly.
Who wants a shrimp fork for a gift? Come on. Maybe some people.
I'd
I
rather
want shrimp.
Yeah.
give me the shrimp.
The fork is getting in the way.
People who eat a lot of shrimp, maybe.
A lovely thing about Christmas is that it's compulsory, like a thunderstorm. We all go through it together. At some level, even for non-Christians, that is a true statement. Now, that's a great piece of comedy. I pretty much can give this one away without even the initials. It's a American humorist from the modern era.
Seinfeld?
Unfortunately, who's come into some allegations that canceled their extremely famous radio show in recent years. Yeah.
Radio show.
Howard
Al
Stern.
Franken?
No. Radio variety show.
Radio variety show.
I'm surprised. I thought you were going to get this one right
Radio
off the bat.
I
variety
mean,
show. Like a-
Your
Garrison
hint, your
Keillor?
hint, your hint made me
Oh,
think
oh.
Louis C.K., but I don't think
That's
he has a
exactly-
radio
yeah, that's what I
variety
was thinking,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Rooney?
No, this was last chance. Initials
Ah.
GK.
George No.
George Costanza.
George.
No.
Or is that with a C?
This might be a little bit
Gentleman's
harder.
Quarterly. No,
I mean,
that's
if I say the word woebegone, you're going to tell me.
Oh,
Garrison
Garrison
Keillor.
Keillor.
Garrison Keillor.
So,
Beth totally said it.
I'm very sorry. I'm
Yeah,
very,
she
very
did.
sorry.
I heard you.
It's in my ear.
I have a witness.
so
It's in my ear blind spot.
could you
It's in
dial
my ear
back?
blind spot.
You said that it went off the air because of some controversy?
Yes,
Oh.
he was embroiled in a sexual.
I didn't know that. That
Oh
I
my
did not
gosh.
know.
All my
No, I
childhood
thought it was
Yeah.
on its own.
Well, it didn't go off the air. It had a new host, and it was really kind of
Well, it's not just new host. I mean, they completely re-envisioned the entire show.
Is that still even on?
Yes, it is.
It's kind of fun. I mean, the old one was a bit flat, but it's still entertaining. But the new one, I heard a couple times. That was great.
Yeah,
But it's just
I-
not for
flat.
me. It could be for others.
Yeah, it's he had some business.
We better watch ourselves in case
Do
we
they
ever
still?
get an
I
NPR
don't know that I
episode.
even hear it on Michigan radio or WDT.
I'm pretty sure
No,
it's
it's
there.
not.
No.
No.
All right, I'll pay attention.
It might
The
be a
number
DM.
of men who have been caught up in those scandals
I did
just
not-
it never ceases.
I did not know
to-
that.
Yeah.
Hard to keep.
Unending, really.
Like we can't do this? Why not? What's the problem?
You do know we should be on NPR. We should be, right?
Yeah.
Let's tell them
Let's
that.
Let's just do it.
That's, I'm
Let's
gonna
do
lean
it.
Word on the campus.
I'm going to lean on something. I know
Okay.
some folks.
Pay attention to the context clues here. I stopped believing in Santa Claus when I turned 6. Mother took me to see him at the department store, but he asked for my autograph.
Macaulay Culkin.
Good, but you need to
Yeah.
go another couple generations back.
Shirley Temple
Shirley-
Black?
Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Temple,
yeah.
absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
Mother.
I wish that I could do the impersonation, but because, of course, my throat concerns here, I'm not going to be able to do it right. But mail your packages early so the post office can lose them in plenty of time for Christmas.
Rodney Dangerfield.
I mean, that does sound like
It sounds
Young
like
man.
out of Good Morning Vietnam. It sounds
A
like
little
Robin
bit.
Williams and
Yeah, a little bit
Wait,
like
hold
that.
on. I'm trying to think. How could Matt strain his voice?
No, I mean, I would
Oh.
strain my voice from doing any voice, is the
Oh,
point
okay,
that I'm
gotcha.
making. So, initials JC, the greatest,
Johnny
late night
Carson.
host of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, Johnny Carson,
he
absolutely.
really was, you know. I just don't think any
was
other
just
late
smooth.
night host
He was
has
just
been
smooth
as
about it,
good
that's
as
all. Yeah,
as
yeah.
he was.
He made people feel comfortable. And
What about Christmas is a baby shower that went totally overboard? Another
Very true.
classic humorist.
Pope Francis.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure there's any way that I can give you a clue on this one because I actually don't recognize the name except for this person is in comedy. The initials are AB. That's the best that I can do.
I was going to
Aaron-
say Amy Schumer. That's not it.
Is it a male or female?
It's male. It's male. His
Male.
first name is Andy. Oh, see, there you go.
Okay.
Bur- Burwitz?
Andy Borowitz, yeah, that's good. You figured it out. All right. I also don't recognize the next name on the list, but it's a great quote, so I'm going for it. There are these are the 3 stages of man. He believes in Santa Claus. He does not believe in Santa Claus. He becomes Santa Claus. Yes.
Tim Allen.
No. That's a.
But
that's
I
a
could
good
get
guess.
credit. I should have
Yeah.
credit for
Yes, you should.
connecting the
Yes,
dots.
you
on that
should.
one. All right.
I have initials BP for that one. B
Okay, so it's
as in
not
boy.
Bob
it's
Newhart.
not
but
British Petroleum.
No, it's not British Petroleum. Absolutely not. No.
Bill.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah,
Bob.
it says Bob Phillips. I'm afraid I'm
I
not
have no
familiar.
idea
I'm
who
not
that
either.
is.
It's a little too general, frankly. Why don't you just put John Smith?
Yeah.
But I certainly recognize the progression there.
Yes, yes. How about, oh God, this is just beautiful. Santa Claus had the right idea. You should visit people only once a year.
That's my new motto.
It's like, yeah, exactly. Relatable.
That sounds like George Costanza.
It does. It does. The initials are VB, and he was just very well known for comedy and playing the piano at the same
Victor
time.
Borga.
Victor Borga.
Is it
yeah.
Vinnie Barbarino? Oh,
Vinnie Barbarino.
Mentioned piano,
Yep.
playing piano
Yep.
at the same time.
Oh my gosh. If I say this low and slow, maybe that will help you guess. You can tell a lot about a person by the way they handle 3 things: a rainy day, lost luggage, and tangled Christmas lights.
sound like me yesterday.
No, this is a very, very famous American writer who, if I remember correctly, she had the chance to speak at Obama's first inauguration. So, I mean, this is off the charts. Not really known for humor, by the way.
Toni Morrison?
No, it wasn't Toni Morrison. Initials.
Maya Angelou?
It was Maya Angelou.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was.
Uh-huh.
I just.
Nice.
It doesn't sound like something she'd say.
I know.
No, it
I
doesn't.
know.
It really doesn't.
Pedantic and
Sounds a little bit more acerbic than
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
a
exactly.
little too much venom for
But she's arguably not wrong.
No,
Those
I agree.
things would tell you a
Right.
lot about a person.
Absolutely, absolutely. What I don't like about office Christmas parties is having to look for a job the next day. Now that is classic old school Hollywood.
Ouch.
Initials PD. Don't think too hard.
Phyllis Diller.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
That's
Yep.
funny. Oh, I love
I can
that.
imagine her at the office party.
Yeah, absolutely.
There
there are a lot
her
of.
and George together.
Yes.
Think of the laughing,
The two
right?
of them would shake the
That would
plaster.
be wonderful.
Gosh. There are a lot of things money can't buy. Not one of them is on my kids' list.
Wow.
Another classic old school golden Hollywood comedian, initials MB.
Milton Berle.
Milton Berle.
Yeah, I'm really not quite so
Uncle
sure about.
Milty.
I think money maybe can buy happiness.
Or rent it.
It's possible.
Yes.
If it
possible.
can't buy happiness, it can certainly buy some remarkable substitutes.
Yes.
How about contentment? That's what
You know,
I'm
rent to
thinking
own.
of.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
Yes.
Yes. Peace of mind.
Money can buy lots of Christmas ornaments.
And office supplies.
One more of these, and they really have been a great set of questions, man, so thanks for those. It's Christmas Eve. The one night of the year we all act a little nicer, smile a little easier, cheer a little more. For a couple hours out of the whole year, we are the people that we always hoped we'd be. That's actually a quote from a movie that this very famous actor starred in from the 1980s.
Schwarzenegger?
No.
An 80s Christmas.
National Lampoon Christmas.
No.
Yeah, I was going there too.
I was thinking.
Not Christmas Story.
No, it's not a Christmas Story. Nope. It's a take on Christmas Carol in the modern.
Scrooge.
Oh,
Scrooge.
Bill
It's Bill
Murray.
Murray. Yeah,
That's
it's
a
Bill
good
Murray,
one.
so.
But it sounds like part of a Chevy Chase speech.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
But it's not as good as Eric Cartman's comment
Well, let's be serious.
on Christmas.
Right.
Thank you, baby Jesus, for being born so I get presents.
So I get
Yeah.
presents.
That exactly summarizes my own view on
Oh my
Christmas.
That's great. Dear Profs, Professor Chow asked us to send us Christmas questions, so here's a few quick ones about a perennial favorite classic, always on in the Mio house, White Christmas, mostly because of Leslie.
Nice.
I'm going to ask you to consider poor Antarctica. Besides being colder than the UP, the place doesn't even have an original name. It literally means anti or opposite to the Arctic. So no wonder it's so brutal there. The place is permanently in a bad mood. So as Dennis and I are up here in the UP, we're thinking maybe it's not so bad compared to the alternative to the south. I'll give you 9 out of 12 for passing.
That's where Belsnickel comes from, Antarctica.
That's right. Your friend in the wintry UP, it's Marilyn Bachorik. Thanks for sending those in.
My
Marilyn.
fellow
That's
Nero
great.
Wolf fan.
In White Christmas, there's an uncredited choreographer for the movie. Who is that? Don't think too hard.
Fred Astaire. I don't know.
That's a good guess. In that era,
Danny Kaye?
no,
Gene Kelly.
nope. Getting closer.
Donald
You have to think a
O'Connor?
little more
Yeah,
Broadway.
Donald-
I'm
what's
afraid.
his name?
O'Connor?
Donald O'Connor. We
I've
missing
never
the
seen
female
White
lead in
It's
that
not
movie?
Paula Abdul.
No.
You've never seen it?
Final answer.
Is Bob Fosse
It's
too
Bob
late?
Fosse.
Oh, Ringer,
young then.
right?
Only the most famous American choreography
yeah.
probably ever. So
Yeah,
No, that's
very
what it
famous.
But not famous until later. He was
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
really
like-
famous
Right.
until like the 70s.
Chicago.
Chicago,
probably got
yeah.
him,
Yeah.
I think.
Cabaret.
All that jazz.
Yep.
like that.
Well, that's kind of like, was it when John Williams was first writing songs? He went under Johnny Williams. So,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, people still call him Johnny.
yeah.
This is a good piece of trivia that I feel like I've heard before, but maybe it's been a while. The brother of Betty and Judy, Haynes, is Benny, who is referred to as the dog face boy. When Bob and Phil look at his picture, it's actually a picture of Carl Switzer, who's way better known as
Alfalfa.
Alfalfa from the Little Rascals.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, Benny the dog face boy. How cute.
Yeah, because it was JoJo the dog face.
But White Christmas isn't the song White Christmas from a different movie? Holiday Inn?
Originally,
From
it was
Holiday Inn.
Oh,
Inn
that's
in
smart.
about
See?
43 or 44, but then it was reused again in White Christmas.
Yep.
Ah, I just
Recycling.
remember Midge Maisel not knowing the words to White Christmas.
Yep.
I'm Jewish. I don't know the words to White Christmas.
Not an excuse.
After Phil and Judy confess that their engagement is phony, what does Bob, that would be Bing Crosby, call Phil Danny Kaye? It's a reference that includes a car. I actually have to agree. She's like, this cracks me up every time. Every time I hear this, I'm like, that is so spot on.
Your
Anybody
used
remember?
car?
No. He looks him up and down and goes, I tell you, you are a weirdsmobile. That's what he calls
Oh,
it.
weird.
Weird
It's such
stuff.
an
like
old
that.
school, like,
That's a
put
got him.
down, you know what I mean? I'm
Sick
sorry.
burn. I'm
I
gonna
think
use that the
that's
next
funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. On the soundtrack for White Christmas, when the soundtrack for White Christmas was made, Rosemary Clooney in the movie was under exclusive contract to Columbia and could not perform. So on the official soundtrack, Betty's role, played by Rosemary Clooney in the movie, was sang by this very, very important singer of the day for the entire album. Who was it?
Doris Day?
It's a good guess,
One
but
of the Andrews sisters?
no, that's another good guess.
Let's see.
Thinking of the
the
era,
early
post-World War
50s.
II.
Lena
Mary
Horne. No.
She
Well-
sort of had a sleepy-eyed way of doing modern American takes. They parodied
Peggy-
her. Yeah,
Peggy Lee?
Peggy Lee.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
Peggy
go.
Lee.
Yeah, I was gonna say they parodied her in what was it?
Was it
Lady
All
and the
There
Tramp.
Is?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lady and the Tramp is what I was
Of
thinking.
course, one
yeah.
of the best songs ever, right? With
let's-
Fever.
Let's be serious. The snow in the final scene of the movie was made from what quote, magic mineral?
Asbestos.
Absolutely.
Oh,
it was
don't say that
shredded
yet.
asbestos.
Lord.
Fantastic.
This is not a joke.
Real good for you.
Everybody buckle in because this is not a joke. Switch topics just a little bit here. What procedure is required of all doctors who spend their winters in Antarctica? Yes, we definitely switched topics.
What?
Appendectomy?
Absolutely. Doctors must
Oh.
have their appendix removed. How did you know that?
It's the only one I know.
The only procedure.
Oh my gosh.
Figured
So they will not need
Actually,
emergency surgery
I
while
Oh,
they're there.
sorry. Yeah.
I
right.
misinterpreted. I thought it was be able to do. And I
Oh,
thought the basic.
Yeah, that makes
No,
sense.
It's
Yeah.
prophylactic, so they
Yeah.
will not
So
need
Need it.
emergency
Oh.
surgery
An
while they're
appendix
there.
Yeah.
bursts in the Antarctic, you're gonna die, right? So.
Right.
Aren't there equally just as bad ailments that you would want to be able to?
Yeah, I would say so.
Well,
at some
maybe
level.
none so emergent.
Yeah, and not so,
Common.
Live
Dying.
without,
Yeah,
perhaps.
not so common.
All right.
Professors, why is time so confusing on the continent of Antarctica?
Because they have all
They've all got all the time
24
zones
hours,
together
all the
there.
time zones.
Officially, based on the UN, there is no time zone
There's no
for
time zone.
Antarctica. It is a place without time.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
how do you set your watch?
That is a really good question. Because
If you were
again,
at the South Pole, you could just walk around in
I
a
know.
circle and you'd hit them all.
But, I just walked a
take
day.
only a few minutes.
Well, it's
yeah,
not
exactly.
without time.
Well, you're thinking about this like a philosopher
Oh.
would think about it.
No. There's a practicality to it because, like, okay,
Time
Beth,
still
I-
progresses, just
Yeah.
not in a zone.
But how do you okay, Beth? I'll meet you for lunch at noon. When's noon?
Which noon?
Yeah.
Well,
Time is a faculty of sensibility. It is empirically real and transcendentally ideal.
There we
That's
go.
what
Wow.
I-
I'm
Perfect.
talking hungry.
Perfect.
Oh.
Perfect. I know that you all are ready for this one, so let's just get it out of the way. Which has more penguins, the Arctic or the Antarctic?
Antarctic.
The Antarctic.
I'm like
South.
the one down there.
Why?
Because there's no penguins.
There's no penguins in the North Pole. Yeah, that's exactly right. They're all in the Antarctic.
Because
Well, there's a
Morgan
lot in
Freeman
South
wasn't going to
Africa, too.
narrate a movie about the North Pole.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
What is the Antarctic animal that weighs up to 6,000 pounds per organism, 5 times larger than the grizzly bear, but is not a fish or mammal that swims in the sea,
Not a
except
fish
for
or-
infrequently?
So it's not a sea lion.
it's not a walrus.
You're close.
Or a
You're
sea
getting
leopard.
when you put like a sea lion and a walrus together, you get
Elephant seal?
elephant seal.
Oh,
Hey, you did it.
nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Those are
Those are
weird looking.
All those
They
episodes.
don't go in the
Or
water.
a very fat penguin.
Yeah.
Daniel DeVito
That's
size.
hilarious.
Like Mumble in Happy
Oh my
Feet.
gosh, that's great. There are no trees or shrubs native to Antarctica, but there are 1,000 species of.
Lichen?
Moss.
Slime molds. No.
Bird.
Grime?
I mean, all of you just
Fish.
like
Penguin
danced
food.
all around it. Danced all
moss?
around it.
Is it a plant? It's a plant.
It's not a plant.
Fungi?
It's a fungus.
Oh, it's a
yeah,
fungus.
1,000
Fungus.
fungus down there. Pretty weird.
And why do people spend time there? I mean, I
Ah,
guess
Do you have your appendix?
cool
You can't
research
go down
things.
there.
I do have my appendix, but I guess for scientific knowledge, I suppose
What?
it would make
Antarctica
sense.
doesn't have a need for a cartoonist?
Gotta get working on that.
Well, I think you should get right down there and
Yeah,
see.
check it out.
oh my
Lots to
gosh.
draw.
They
Jeff-
may not
Jeff-
know that they have a need
Bring
for
some
a
white out.
cartoonist.
Lots of
but I'm
fungi
sure the
there.
emperor penguins are like, hell yeah, document
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makeup.
I'm going to lean in a biochemical direction
Oh.
for why don't Antarctic fish freeze if the temperature of the water is close to 0 degrees Celsius?
Don't
They have antifreeze
Do they have, like-
proteins
Yeah,
in their body.
the veins,
That is
yeah.
exactly what it says here in that order. Yes, they
The
do.
Prestone fish.
Their fats can't congeal. And last but most certainly not least, because this has been another really great thing, we definitely took a hard right turn at Bing Crosby and ended up in Antarctica, but that's okay. What is strikingly unusual about the subglacial lake water that flows from the Taylor Glacier? This is actually pretty well known. You can look it up on YouTube. It is freaky.
Blue?
It's not blue.
Green.
Nope.
It's freshwater.
No.
It's saltwater.
Salt water.
Let's
It's
just say that
period.
it contains a lot of iron 2+.
It's red.
It's
Red.
pink.
It's pink, it's red.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. It's blood red because it contains very high volumes of oxidized iron.
That
So
probably
it's
looks
kind of
really cool.
Yeah, I would say
More
that
than
it looks pretty cool.
Tequamanon Falls in the copper.
More than Zug Island.
Oh, that. Slag.
It's a lovely brown color. This
Where
time
did
of
Zug Island come from? What did I miss? I mean, have you been there lately, Dave?
year. Well, you forget, I've experienced the hum over in Windsor because of that place. So,
Wait, remind us.
do you remember the Windsor hum? Does anybody remember the
Yeah,
Windsor
I
hum?
remember the Windsor home.
Yeah, supposedly they came from Zug Island.
Really? Yes. So people in Windsor were complaining that there was a
Yes.
non-stop sound coming from the American
I
side.
would say it was
of the river.
nonstop. In my dad's house, you could feel it in the hallway.
Weird.
At night, about 7 o'clock, you could feel it. But during the day, you didn't hear it. You could walk to any other room, you didn't feel it. But I remember hearing it. I'm like, it is real. So,
Creepy.
Wow. Freaky stuff.
it is.
And in the other worlds of freaky, I'm afraid the time has come for us to say goodbye, Beth.
Goodbye.
Aaron.
Goodbye.
Dan.
Goodbye.
Jim.
Adios.
Dave.
See ya.
And Mara.
Goodbye.
Now these words from University of Detroit Mercy. Ask the Professor is transcribed to the facilities of the Briggs Building in the Department of Communication Studies in the College of Liberal Arts and Education at University of Detroit Mercy's McNichols campus. Ask the Professor is produced and technically directed by Michael Jason and Brian Masonville, and our executive producer is Professor Jason Roach. Until next week, I'm your host, Matt Mio.